My name is Michael McCara. This is my bad design journal project. The first interface we're going to take a look at is the ASIP Syncarse radio, which is a common radio found in the United States military to communicate between forces on the ground and with relatively low flying aircraft. You can take a look at the interface, the front facing panel. It's quite confusing to take a look to look at, and kind of counterintuitive when you're trying to operate it. There's two off switches. If I gave this radio to somebody, I don't think they would be able to program a frequency and communicate with somebody. So that's what we're going to take a look at. Of turning on the radio, inputting a frequency, and putting the radio into operation. So the user is putting the radio into load mode, waiting for it to turn on. Next, they're selecting the type of transmission mode they would like to enter. Now they're pressing frequency to enter a new frequency to transmit to, and they're going to save it by pressing stow, and then they're going to move the switch back to on in order to transmit to that frequency. That video, you can probably tell that it is quite complex of an interface to operate. There is a lot of acronyms. It's somewhat counterintuitive. There's two off modes. You have to repeatedly press buttons to go through the menu and understand what these acronyms mean here in order to actually operate the radio. In fact, it comes with a 100-page handbook for beginners. It's usually recommended to read through that. So the relevance to HCI, the principles that I'm looking at with my recommendation is trying to provide increased flexibility and efficiency of use and discoverability. Getting a lot of inspiration from the kind of modern cell phone device that you might find on an iPhone or Android. And I think if you gave anyone this in the modern world, and I wanted you to make a phone call, you'd be able to operate that, and that's what I'm going for my recommended design here. So you have the front-facing panel that was visible on the first screen. What I've done is to increase the size of the actual display screen, remove the acronym buttons, and have common icons such as a phone, address book, that you can navigate through these different types of menus, and input, and a dedicated off switch, trying to remove the complexity with the associated acronyms on the original design, and focus on what commonalities you can find between a modern cell phone. And that is the ESPN app homepage. I'll take a screen recording of what that looks like. You notice how there's kind of an inconsistency between the scoreboard display. There's an advertisement. The layout routinely changes between headlines and videos. That's what we'll be addressing. So a design problem that I have with this application is that users should be able to view the content of their favorite teams quickly and efficiently. And you look at the bottom here, that you have these navigation tabs between home, scores, watch, ESPN Plus, and more. It's really kind of challenging to get to the content you want relatively quickly and efficiency because of the different standard of layouts of the UI that they have. So what I'll be looking at to address as far as principles is improved mapping and consistency in standards. And what I've have here for my recommendations for improvement is I've readjusted the bottom navigation between top stories, your team scores, and watch. Simplify that to give that kind of more preciseness in terms of what you will be viewing at each of those locations when you navigate to them. This would be an example of the top stories where you could have a drop down here, navigate through the top leagues such as the NBA or the NFL, and look at the headlines and the scores. And then the second page here is your teams, the teams that you've liked or favorited, that you have more specific access or a desire to look at this type of content. So this is available to you as well. For the final interface of my project, we're going to look at the Grubhub menu interface. And if you see here, this is the pizza menu for a local restaurant near my apartment. If you click on a particular menu item, you'll get the view on the right here, which depicts the item itself, how many of a particular quantity. However, if you want to further customize the item, add toppings or any other unique requests like you would want for a pizza, more cheese, pepperoni, sausage, onions, etc., you would have to type that in. There's no additional way to quickly add this through a checkbox or a drop-down menu. And additionally, there's no readily available nutritional information. And that's the design problem I like to address with this interface, is that a user should be able to customize an individual item and understand the nutritional value of the item that they're about to order. And the relevance to the HCI with the Grubhub menu and the individual selector, I'd like to increase the flexibility and efficiency of use for when you're ordering a particular item. And mimicking the two screens, this is the menu here on the left, where it has more information in regards to sizing. There is a drop-down menu to quickly navigate through different types of items, but more importantly, on the right, you're able to select different types of sizes of the pizza you would like to order, and additionally add the toppings really quickly to the pizza you're trying to create, as well as viewing the particular associated nutrient facts and, of course, the price. And that's my project. Thank you so much for listening.